For Accelerate Sports Ventures, I'm Kevin Devaney Jr. here with Julia Fisch from Playbooked, an NIL marketplace. One of the things that I was most impressed with researching Playbooked was how you guys take the athlete who probably comes in very enthusiastic and then may get discouraged when it's not instantaneously filling up their bank accounts. So how do you kind of nurture and kind of educate them on the progress?
Yeah, that's definitely something that's been interesting and a challenge a little bit. I think like the best way, because I do deal with all of the athlete, all of the communications, and so I'm kind of going back and forth with them, is that like this is not going to be something for the most part that you're going to get rich on. You're not going to have like all of this money. So you need to use it as, this is just a great way to have grocery money, to have gas money, to have a little bit extra. And I think that's like the big thing that I try to say. But also I would say that Playbooked as a whole, we pay our athletes much quicker than the average NIL company does. So if you're an athlete and you're working with a bigger brand just through them, direct through them, for the most part, a lot of times they're not getting paid for 90 days, right? So they're not seeing the return right away. And so I pretty much try to hone in on the fact that you're getting paid between a week or two after the post. Like, this is great compared to what some of your teammates might be getting. And just kind of really like making sure they're aware that they might not be getting so much money from this deal, right? Like, that just helping them a little bit. And that's all that I can really say.
Yeah, I think something too that I've learned with Playbooked is that you set really proper expectations, like you were just saying, and that, you know, you look at the Alabama quarterback is making $7 million a year, and that's not reality for all athletes. But I think the words that I found online was the passable income is something that you want to encourage athletes to not just accept, but even try and strive for.
Absolutely. And I always say, like, I graduated a year early, and like, if this was me, I would be happy with the $100, the $200, $300, the extra that I'm getting, just, you know, again, to get the little things. And I think it makes a difference, but not all athletes kind of have accepted that mindset. You know, they're like, oh, I've gotten one, maybe the next one I can get a little bit more. And like, yes, but also just kind of being aware of like your marketability, right?
Julia, you're the campaigns manager for Playbooked. Tell me what's next. What are you guys working on now? What's the future looking like?
Yeah, so we have a few big deals, obviously starting the new year. We are currently about to launch a deal with Cash App that should be coming out within this week or next week. So that's a great big deal, obviously a huge name. And then we have a couple really big deals. I don't think I can talk about them yet, that are coming up, big companies that I think in the last year we worked a ton with, you know, smaller name brands, but we're starting to become more nationally recognized. And so we can try to get these bigger deals, which is super exciting for me as, you know, managing all the campaigns.
What is some of the advice you'd give to an athlete who is either just starting out or is maybe discouraged that they're, as we said, not filling up their bank accounts? What sort of advice would you want to give?
I think the biggest advice that I would give is just try to research like every single NIL company that you can possibly find and literally create accounts on all of them. Because the thing is that they're all free, right? You're not doing yourself any favors by just waiting for a company to reach out to you. So if you can find 3 or 4 companies that you're like, oh, I kind of like what they do, kind of what deals they've done in the past, just create accounts with them and see what happens. I think the like misconception is that only like, again, like the big names get NIL deals, and it's just not true. But a lot of people aren't educated, right? Your school isn't going to educate you on the NIL rules. Like, you're going to have to go out and do it yourself. So if you're looking for extra income, like, find a company, find someone like me who's the campaigns manager, or someone you can talk to in real life, and then just keep texting them, be on their radar. Like, that's pretty much for me. Like, I go and for the athletes that contact me the most, right, that I have actually relationships with already, like, I want to give them deals because they want to do deals. And we don't want to do deals with people who aren't like reaching out to us all the time and like curious about deals. Like, you know, we want the people who are passionate about it. So
how much is your tennis background, professionally, college, how much has it helped you now in this new role?
I think it's helped me a lot. Not only like personal relationships. I mean, there's a ton of athletes that I still know that are in college that I try to get deals for if they want to. But I also think it's an advantage for me because I know what it's like to be a college athlete. I know what it's like to be a professional athlete. Like I know how difficult it is to be a full-time student, but also a full-time athlete, and then try to make time, for extracurriculars. And so I think I try, sometimes it's frustrating, but I try my best to, be like, okay, this is what they're going through and I know how they're feeling, and trying to kind of relate to them as best as I can, because then they'll be more comfortable coming to me. Like if it's not a positive message, like, oh, can I get a few more days on the extension? And like, I can understand that, but I would say like the biggest advantage is just being able to relate to them on a personal level.
Where can we find Playbooked? Where could athletes go, and where could brands go?
Yeah. So the best place to go is probably our Instagram, Playbooked app. And then also you can find us on playbooked.com. That we have a lot of resources, a lot of blog posts on there. But the easiest way is to probably contact us through Instagram.
Julie Fisch, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.